So you're at home and you're streaming a Netflix, right? And all of a sudden, a little piece of the screen gets fuzzy. Ever see that happen? What happens is that movie is actually being sent in small chunks of information. Those chunks are called packets. Understand, I'm a boomer. I'm 56. I didn't grow up with the internet, so even though I'm a geek, this still blows me away. I live in New York City. Nobody kayaks down the Hudson River, okay? We'll just get that straight here. But you see, the problem is that all this information has to get through, and it has to get through all at the same time. That's the challenge here. That means I could stream video. That means I could do my presentation without a hiccup. What's the minimum you need? This is an arguable point. The hotel, the AV company, will tell you 1 meg. Don't believe them.
Stuffed in a coat, going down to meet a friend of a friend.
Did I tell you I hate technology sometimes? I mean, really, really hate technology.
Katie spends Sunday morning.
You ask IT, so get them involved. You know, do you? Thank you for doing that. Which hotel? So everyone knows. Holiday in Niagara Falls. What a great, great approach. Free plug, right? But you did something really, really good there, and it serves the industry. It serves all of us.
Are you ready for the lightning?
I'll tell you a secret. I use it at home because I can see where my neighbors are on their Wi-Fi, which channel, and I can actually, using my router, move me to another channel to get faster speed. It's good to have a geek in the house, you know?
And I want to talk to you about some new information. Actually, a continuation of what I was doing last month with the Google tips is we're going to be posting every day on the different social channels. That includes Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, as well as my Patreon page, which we'll talk about for a second, more tech tools. Actually, not just technology, but I've done a quick rebrand, and now my newsletter is called Bytes with a Y and Bytes with an I, Bytes and Bytes, which will be tools for productivity and health. And that's what we're going to give every day of the week. So what is that week really going to look like? Well, on Mondays, it's going to be a Microsoft tip. Might be Excel, could be PowerPoint, perhaps Windows. All cool, all goes on Microsoft Monday. Tuesdays to your health. It will be some resource or a video or something for you to really get a hold of your health. As you know, I follow a whole food plant-based approach. It saved my life, and I want to be able to share that information with you. Wednesday, we'll call it Seniors Day, as it is in most grocery stores, right? But it's not just for seniors. However, it is for the basics, the fundamentals. We're going to talk about stuff that just might need an explanation that nobody's ever been able to give to you, so hopefully we'll be able to provide that at least once a week. Thursday will be tips for the Patreons only, and I do have a Patreon channel. It's going to be, I think I have it listed, maybe, no, it's probably down here, patreon.com/jspellos, where at an incredibly inexpensive rate, $5 a month, you'll get all these tips and so much more. There's already about 300 pieces of content on there, so come join me there. The people who are signed up for Patreon also will be able to suggest ideas and information they want me to post on, so really, really cool opportunity. Friday, Future Tech. That's where we'll delve into a little bit of AI, AR, VR, that whole alphabet stew that's out there of new technologies, and get you more comfortable and aware of what you need to be familiar with. Like we did with Google, there are sponsorship opportunities, and well, I don't need to talk much about other than reach out to over 12,000 people. And finally, because you spent through a couple of minutes of me yammering, I got a tip for you. It's going to be Excel. What a surprise. So let me move into Excel right now, and we're going to talk about something that's been around for a long time, but really has great value, and it's called concatenation. And it's one of these, it shouldn't work, but it does. The process is simple. I have a name, first name in an A column and last name in the B column, and I want to combine them in the C column. And without building a real extensive formula, I can use what is known as concatenation, which is Latin for join. Didn't know that, I bet you. And this is how it's going to look. Really straightforward. In cell C2, we'll start with the equal sign. Not the plus sign as just typed in there, but the equal sign. And we're going to put A2, the first cell that we want to pull in, and then instead of a plus or a comma, we're going to use the ampersand sign to tell it we want to join that with something else. The something else is going to be the last name, reflected in B2. Now, this is not correct yet, and you'll see why when I hit enter right now, because it's going to say James Spellos, and it's not going to give the space that we want. So we need to make one other simple fix in there. We'll bring that formula back up to the screen, get rid of B2 for now, and anything that we want to put in there as a literal string, all we need to do is wrap it in quotation marks. So a quote, a space, and a quote, another ampersand, and then B2. And by the way, the A's and B's in the names, not case sensitive, you can go either way you want. But again, it looks weird, right? There's no plus sign, there's no equal sum, there's no parentheses, but when you hit enter, what there is actually everything you want. And then I can just go to this little autofill handle here. I can drag it down, or I can just double click on it, and it will fill everything down there. That's concatenate. Kind of like the tips that we're going to start seeing starting next week. So join me across any of the platforms. Love to be able to share as much cool, both technology and health, for your productivity and for your long life and enjoyment. Welcome to AI in a Minute, your weekly podcast on the latest and greatest in the world of AI. I'm Jim, along with Alvin, who's really excited this week because we're going to talk about where he came from, and that is Midjourney. Today we'll cover the basics to get you started using this amazing text-to-image tool. Now, if you didn't see last week's episode, we mentioned and explained that creation in Midjourney occurs in a chat app called Discord. If you didn't see that episode, Alvin has created links to it somewhere. So we're in Discord, and I'm in a private room called a server. When you begin, you can create in one of the newbie rooms that you'll see here. For today's example, it's easier here in a space where you're not seeing everyone else's art at the same time. Now, if you do try creating your own server this week, one thing to note is that you have to invite the Midjourney bot into it. Perhaps we'll go into that next week, but for now, let's keep it simple. Let's just use one of the newbie servers, and let's do this. There's two things you need to do, two steps to creating your first images. The first is in the box down below. You need to type in the / followed by the word imagine. This will tell Midjourney that you want to create an image. You'll see the prompt box appear, and the second step is in that box. You tell it what you want. While this can be very extensive, let's make our first masterpiece incredibly simple. I'm just typing in the words, beautiful sunset. That's it. I'll hit enter, and let's watch the magic happen. When it's done, and that'll typically take a minute or so, you'll see 4 images appear. Beneath the images, there are boxes with U1 through 4 and V1 through 4. The numbers reflect each image. 1 refers to the upper left image, 2 is upper right, 3 is lower left, and 4 lower right. The letter U stands for upscale. So you like the picture on the top right? Press the U2 button and a higher resolution version will be created for you. Really like it? Well, then right-click over that higher resolution version and select Save Image. Great, it's now in your computer and yours to use however you want. No copyright restrictions, but you don't own it either. Just fair rights for everyone to use it, but you certainly can. Sort of like one of them, perhaps the lower right one, but want to see some variations? Then press V4, variation, the 4th image. In a minute, 4 variations on that image will occur. Don't like any of them, but want to try again? Press those 2 half circles button to send the same prompt back, or you can change into what's known as remix mode, and you'll send it to Midjourney for 4 more options. Clearly, the more specific your prompt, the more interesting the process and the output becomes. And without providing way too much nuance here, spend time just thinking up prompts you like to see created into art. Get specific. Be long-winded, though Midjourney may not always return what you expect, but that's part of the game. Alvin wants me to share with you his creation process. He says it's members of his family, but he's never told me that much. Here was the prompt that we used. A robot wearing glasses looking at a document full of numbers. he happens to like it, and he said it's lots of his family members, but who knows? Is that all there is to Midjourney and AI art? Well, absolutely not.